Hey, I wanted to give an update. I've been doing really good this week. I had um, let's see, updates wise, I had a small surgery for a port to put a port in, which they'll use to access my veins for IVIG every other week instead of putting a new IV in every time. So that knocked me out a little bit earlier this week, but then actually I've been feeling quite good. I think maybe all the rest from that. And getting around. I have been still struggling with eating with SIBO, which is a intestinal bacterial overgrowth, is what they think is going on, and I'm taking medication for that. The medication so far has not helped at all, and but I have figured out that a low FODMAP diet has also made a huge difference lately in my life. It's been really hard to somehow I don't know if there's something else going on or if it's just little foods that are FODMAP, high FODMAP, sneaking in. I'm pretty careful, do whole foods and all that, but it does seem like I still am having a lot of pain and distension after eating, but it is significantly less so as if I stick to a low FODMAP, which is helpful because I can eat solid foods, it turns out, and it wasn't so much purely only being eat liquids. It's that something like bone broth didn't flare me up because it was low FODMAP and so gentle in my system. And then it turns out my nutrient shakes actually were flaring me up and were causing a lot of problems and pain, and they are high FODMAP. I have high FODMAP ingredients, so that was actually amazing to find out recently. And I've been getting around more. I've been able to get dressed and shower and do a little more than I've been able to for a while, so that's good. I've also been using a lot of CBD and medical marijuana for this has been recommended by all of my doctors for years. They always push particularly the CBD for pain. And I will say it does help quite a bit. I don't love the idea of taking this, but I'm out of options. I can't take opiate painkillers all the time. There's a bunch of medications that we're trying for migraines. Oh, I have a name for it. That's what's happening. I'm getting migraines quite often, like every other day, every day sometimes. And then after IVIG, it seems like after recovery, I have a couple of days without any, so that's nice. But it seems like pretty much every afternoon lately, or if it's not after, it's not necessarily a certain time of day, but it's after I've done very much for the day, or I've woken up with them. I've gotten them really late at night. I don't know. There isn't really a pattern. It's all over the map, but it does seem like at some point each day a migraine comes in. So actually the medications they've given me for that have also been helpful, and I have a better set of options right now at the moment, and I'm learning to take something really quickly, which is helping. Doesn't take it away, but just makes it maybe not go on 8 hours and cut off a little faster, so that's nice. My last IVIG went really well as well, and I've been getting around and walking without crutches and going to the store and going on walks around the neighborhood, and so I'm really excited. And then I feel just like this little slice of normalcy for a change. And then, I mean, the days aren't normal. It's just tons of pain and medication otherwise, but I get windows where I am, which I'm really excited about. And also just a higher use of, I've been using more CBD this week, and that's been managing my pain. And it's actually amazing the difference when I'm not in constant pain or don't know about the pain. I can certainly see why, a lot of people end up on opiate painkillers for these conditions, just to function in any way. But opiate painkillers, besides all the obvious downsides that a lot of people talk about, they shut down digestion. They slow down digestion, and sluggish digestion is one of my major main problems. So I can't take those at all. I have, many doctors who will prescribe them, but I can't. It'll just make things worse. It's a terrible situation to add those to the mix. So migraine medications, and also ibuprofen doesn't do anything. Honestly, ibuprofen is like the most like it doesn't make a dent in the pain. So when people say, "Oh, just take ibuprofen," no, it doesn't work. It also irritates the stomach quite a bit, especially if I were to take higher doses. And naproxen also bothers my stomach a lot, which, I still take it, but I can't just like be popping naproxen every single day, all day. So CBD is a good alternative. Also, my doctors say it reduces inflammation, which is more addressing the root cause of a lot of the problems. So hopefully, like, there's some research studies that show that high usage of CBD over time can get people in remission on some of these diseases. I'm not sure, I'm not sure if I'm in it for that, but I am at least gonna trying more pain management with that, and it is improving my quality of life. So even if I am a little loopy when on it, which is what I don't like, everything seems like has a side effect though, and that's the side effect with cannabis is you're not really very smart after you take it, and certainly aren't driving a car or anything, so or handling money or doing anything important. But I'm cognitively out of it most of the time anyway without that, so it's not really all that different. At least I can, not just be miserable all the time. That helps a lot. Today is my boyfriend's birthday, so I've been feeling pretty decent. Did some stuff. It's about 3, kind of got my morning medicines and routine and all the things I have to do to get my pain down, to be able to leave the house. I mean, I do it without it, and then I'm miserable afterwards. So try doing it the other way around this time. Sometimes I just try to like go out first and then kind of crash, but kind of did a bunch of stuff. Hopefully I can stay out a little longer, but we're gonna go and get him a birthday meal of some kind, and a low FODMAP. Get him something at least, and then come home and have a somewhat normal day, hopefully. That's about it. Those are my updates. And I'm seeing an immunologist for the first time this week. I have actually multiple immunologists lined up this summer to get second opinions on what's causing the fatigue and the cognitive, the brain fog and cognitive symptoms, and what's causing the ups and downs. The like some days I'll feel good, or some hours I'll feel good, and then I'll crash. And things like my cortisol, we know, is all over the, like, out of whack, and the pattern of cortisol each day production isn't right. Stuff like that. Trying to figure out if there's anything else going on. It can all be explained by CIDP on its own, and then Hashimoto's as well, and then and then the gastroparesis and all the motility disorders. I mean, all that's enough to explain all of it, but we want to cover our bases, because what if there's something out there that needs to be treated as well, or managed, that would make life a little more bearable. Also, I've had questions from disability about some of my diagnoses, and they're seeming to like misunderstand the nature of the fatigue and the cognitive issues and all that. So I'm trying to get more documentation to try to help with that scenario, which is frankly fairly annoying, because I really just want to focus on getting better and managing my health and doing my best to get better, and not really worrying quite so much. I mean, of course, we all wish we could not worry about paperwork, but not having to like fight them too would be nice, to just be able to provide them documentation and not have them misread my records. That would be helpful, but working on that, trying to get them to straighten up their act a little bit. But yeah, so that's some good news this week. This has been a good week. I wouldn't say it's been good a whole lot longer than that. I've had some good days leading up to this, a little bit more than average, but prior to this week, I'm trying to remember kind of time. I had some good days, I had some bad days. some real bad days. You know, laying there in pain most of the days, but fortunately since I recovered from surgery, which was about 5 days, like surgery was 6 days ago, for the last like 4 or 5 days, I've been feeling, 4 days, I've been feeling pretty good, so that's nice. I wanted to stay so bad, and I do think a lot of it had to do with IVIG, honestly. I had a really good treatment, and I'm walking really strong, which always correlates with good IVIG effectiveness. So if that can be effective, then really anything autoimmune should get better. So fingers crossed. That's the hope that just stays. We could just stay like this. They could just get better and better.